says it's there we go. All right, it's starting here. So I'm gonna hit it live and then play it.
One, two, three, four.
Toby, welcome back to Judging Bouncing Balls. How you doing?
We're doing great. Another
looks
another
like
week in
looks
the-
like we got our first viewer over there.
No. But yeah, crazy week. We were just talking about it, the work and all the moving parts of our lives of sport. And yeah, busy.
Never a dull moment.
No. I'd like to talk about this for a minute, but pickleball, I'm going to be honest. Last week we didn't get a chance to do our podcast, but last 2 Wednesdays ago, I took home the championship, won the tournament, won the money. The nice thing is you win $50 and then you have to bring 2 cases of beer. So you actually lose about $2 in the process, but it's walking in the door when everybody's staring at you and I can yell, I'm a champ.
That's pretty good. Good
and then last night I lost in the championship. So that was a long ride home.
I was going to say, you're kind of like the Patriots. I mean, you're winning like back to back and then you'll lose one, but you're always there and then you win another one. It's just
I'm more like the 2024 Patriots where there's a lot of hope and not a lot of delivery sometimes. I hurt my heel. Woke up today with a sore heel. I'm like, how the heck does that happen? Like, there's nothing in my heel besides bone.
Bruised heels hurt, man.
They do. So I'm hobbling around in the world today looking like 85 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm all right.
Sorry.
Things are good.
Sorry. We'll call you Toby Brady.
There we go. I might bring that up at pickleball, my new nickname.
TV,
right? TB7 or whatever they have. TVs. I don't even know what they call them anymore.
Do you wear a number? Do you guys have numbers?
No. And actually, what didn't help is my buddy Jason wasn't there this week, and he's got 2 brand new paddles, and they're really nice paddles. Paddles are like $300. I mean,
I bet that makes all the difference.
Oh, for spinning it and slipping it down the line. I mean, there's a lot I can do with a really nice paddle. So my paddle's a little under the standards of a really good pickleball player, but I'm just not willing to throw $300 at a pickleball paddle right now. Well, let's back that up. I am completely willing. It's just the fact that everything else in my life is sucking the money out of this thing. So it's best that I just stay with the pickleball paddle I have.
What are you paying for? You don't have any expenses right now.
No,
just a
no.
money.
What was really nice is getting Allie back to college on Sunday. I'm like, okay, we're through the holidays, right? The whole thing of Christmas and life. And then all of a sudden on Saturday, we were supposed to do some got canceled. And so the family was together and I'm like, well, let's go to Costco. Holy bucket. That was a bad idea. Really bad idea. And then the 3 ladies in my life are like, we should go to Target.
Ooh.
I sat in the car for most of it because I'm like, they don't want me around them. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know what to ask. Because if I ask them, they're like, what do you come on, we need this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I need a pickleball paddle.
Do they sell those at Target? I don't think they do.
The ones that I can afford, they do.
It's like a ping pong paddle.
Right. I got 2 taped together.
Wow.
But yeah,
I never knew that pickleball was so so costly. Seems like it would be pretty straightforward.
Well, it is. I mean, once you get a paddle, you're kind of set, right? You just wear some sneaks, and courts are hard to find, though. Hard to find. Well, good thing we have our own indoor court. It's more of a warehouse, but it works. It works great.
It's yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they haven't given me a key yet. I did ask, and they said no.
Is that the same place that baseball players go to?
No, this is a friend's business. They have half of
Okay.
production and half of storage, so they put a pickleball court in. So
Nice, smart. I like it.
then we can have a beer fridge without anybody questioning our thought process. Yep.
It's true. What if the
Yep,
feds
so-
come in and break up your gambling?
What's that?
What if the
Oh.
feds come in and break up all your gambling?
Well, technically, there's two bins you put your money in. One is the banquet fund. Last year we had $1,400 in our banquet fund. This year we're going to have more because we've had more pickleball players. So technically, you're not winning anything because you're losing twice when you win. So,
It's true.
is it an itemized deduction on my taxes when I bring in 50 and lose 52? I mean, is there a deduct there?
No, there's not.
I didn't think so. Anything in the favor of the general public is nullified.
Nice. Do I know any of the other people you play pickleball with?
Joe came up once,
Oof.
but otherwise, no.
Okay. All right.
Second life.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. What about you?
I honestly, I have not been doing anything other than work and running kids around to whatever sport they are interested in at this point. So yeah, Amelia's in the middle of hockey season, so she actually is up in Eagle River right now, just coming off. They just won tonight 5-0. So I decided not to make that trip. It's a long trip, and I had other stuff going on tonight. So yeah, nothing too crazy, just family stuff, and yeah, that's about it. So nothing fun.
That's a brutal trip, right? Because you get through Wausau and you're
Yeah.
4-lane for another 30, 40, 50 miles, and then it goes to 2.
Then it goes to 2, and then you're hitting Highway 70 across, and yeah, it's a long trip. So I decided not to make it. But yeah, they've been they needed a win tonight. They've been struggling. We talk about girls, or not girls, but high school sports. Our girls hockey team is hit a little bit of a dry patch, but it's funny. We look at the team and I think they're better than last year, but they just had a rough run. They also played, Green Bay, and they played really good teams. So
Yeah.
that doesn't help.
I mean, they're not UWGB boys basketball bad.
Are they bad?
Oh my God, they're 2-20, I think. Longest active losing streak, I think, in the country.
Oof. You know what's crazy? When we went up for our visit at Green Bay, we walked into the Resch Center, and the first guy that came up and introduced himself and said hi was, now I can't think of his name, the coach of the
Doug Gottlieb.
He's like, he was a super friendly. He like ran up, hey guys, welcome. What are you here for? What can I help you with? And we're just like, I'm like, I know who this guy is. I recognize you from ESPN. But I didn't say that. I'm like, no, we're good. We're just here for a visit. He's like, oh, they'll be right here with you. He was like super friendly. Like, wasn't even there for us. But really nice guy. So hopefully, being that he seems like a nice guy, I wish him the best. But that's too bad to hear that they're getting crushed. I did see the news where they got crushed by the team where they were like, oh, they're no name. We should.
Michigan Tech.
Yeah. And then they came in and beat them.
Right. He should. Yeah. When you say, I don't even know their name, like, why are we playing these schools? Yeah. And the problem is UWGB right now, I think, is paying 3 coaches. Bo Ryan's kid. And then I think Link Garner might still be getting paid. So they have no more money. Like, they can't fire him unless a booster writes a check.
Oof.
I think he's got a 5-year deal. This is year 1.
Well, maybe you can get it turned around, but not a good start.
I was thinking about trying to get him on the podcast, but I'm like, oh, it might drag us down. We might have 1 viewer at the end of that. I did meet him once.
We get people their next job. I don't know we got to check on that Nichols guy. I should look that up and see right now. But apparently we get coaches other jobs. So maybe we could have them out.
What's funny is I was going to write an email to John Sandoval today and congratulate him and wonder if he would like to come back on and thank us for getting that opportunity.
I'm sure that's high on his list.
But I got busy, but I will send him one because I think it'd be the best thing for him to come back on and tell about his new adventure.
This is true. Yeah.
His wife has to be thrilled.
Oh, I'm sure she has to be to have gotten out of. I mean, nothing against
No, Marquette's a beautiful place, but man, you got to want to live in Marquette in the UP.
You got to want it.
I got a lot of buddies up there that live there, and they are snowmobilers and all that, and I'm just like, wow, it's cold.
I just looked up Nichols State. Apparently, our coach is not there anymore, so he must have gotten a promotion somewhere. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Look under the Power 4 schools and see assistant head coaches. I mean,
I'm sure he's coaching somewhere huge, is what I would assume right now. So,
wow.
Yeah, so he's not there anymore.
Well, we wish him the best.
I'm sure he's doing great. So, anyways. So you got to fill me in here. I did not get to go on this amazing trip out to lovely, dry, warm, well, cool Arizona. You gotta tell me what do you got? What happened?
I will say this: we flew down to Phoenix, and then we were in Mesa, Arizona, and it's beautiful, right? You got the mountains, and it's just different. It's high 65. We were wearing shorts and sweatshirts or jeans, so it wasn't like, you were
not bad.
We did sit by the pool one day just because it was the sun, and it was you got to get at least some sort of sun. But this complex was amazing. I think they had 26 maybe soccer fields, full size, and each 4 had a tower with a 4-sided scoreboard. So each field had a scoreboard where they could run video. Nice. Now, they did not use those scoreboards. Those were for show. But it was really nice that they had they didn't have black pellets. I think it was more of a beige because it was for the sun. So they didn't heat up. Remember in Kansas City when it was 7 million degrees on that field?
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So we had high expectations like we always do. We did in Orlando. We did in Tampa, Kansas City, St. Louis, Cincinnati, all of them. But this just felt different. This was the best our team has played in a long time. We played, I forget the names of the teams we played, but what's funny is I read the article going in on the airplane down from the USYS, and they talked about the JB Marine game versus a Pennsylvania team. And if we won, we would play the loser of that game. So, because they were from the gold division, they'd fall down to the silver division. And I'm like, okay, we're going to have our work cut out for us. We come out, we beat the first team, I think 4-0.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
it was a beatdown.
Kind of put it away early. We started fast finally. The girls were really moving. And then game 2, I'm like, all right, if we win game 2, we move to Texas. Like, this should be a real test. We are going to have and we just put it on them. I think it was 6-0 by the time they figured out what was going on. Like, it was over with. So by that, we punched our ticket to Texas, but then we played Steel City, another Pennsylvania team, I think located kind of near Pittsburgh would make sense.
Hence the name.
Yeah. That's kind of what I took in my brain. They were a really good team, but we ended up beating them 3-2. They kind of got 2 goals. We went up 1-0. They got 2 kind of goals, and then we ended up beating them. So they were not. Their parents were not thrilled with us.
Really?
Yeah. They were very. They were listening to everything we were saying, which isn't good. Like, you shouldn't do that. They had a young lady named Autumn. Okay. And I think my Cole Hart on the broadcast said he was a bigger Winter fan. That didn't go over well, which I can understand.
Joe's always poking the bear.
When you're not there, Jeremy, it's not good, man. It's not good. But we tried to keep it clean on the broadcast. But so we beat them, and then you find out, right? Then you're like, all right, now let's start finding out where is Round Rock, Texas. Like, to me, it sounds amazing. Like, it's near Austin, and it's like, wow, this is going to be and then you start to figure out where it is. You're like, the logistics don't work. There was 7 million flights going into Phoenix. There's 7 million going into Orlando, Tampa, $200 flights, and then you start trying to figure out how to get to Round Rock, and you either fly into San Antonio, Austin, or Dallas. Now, Dallas is 3 hours away, so that's kind of out. San Antonio is about 1 hour and 40, and Austin's only 20. So there's not a lot of direct flights to Austin.
Nope, it's a smaller town, that is for sure.
Yes. So, and during our stay in Phoenix, so we didn't have a couple players, very valuable players. We didn't have Emily or Charlie with us.
Yeah.
So some of us were having a couple pops and texting with Andy King and with Greg and saying, hey, we'd love to have them if they can come to Round Rock, and love to have them with us, and it would be a great thing, and if you can't make it, we will take them. But it was like 3 families, right? We're all like, we're
Right.
going to do this together.
Okay.
So the dust settles. Guess who they choose? Out of everybody on our team, all the parents, all the moms, all the good people, who does Charlie and Emily choose to be their advocate of Round Rock? Me. I'm like, holy buckets, guys. So I'm texting with their dads. I'm like, Andy, Greg, are you like, because Jackie can't go with work and some different things going on. And I'm like, all right, it's me and Macy.
Wow.
We'll do this. And I was expected like some questions like, are you really up for this? Or are you capable of this? No, they're like, hey, fire in the hole, go get them. And I'm like, wow.
So
That's a
you're
lot.
taking 3 girls down?
3 girls and me.
Oof. Wow.
So I got a room, right? Because we had to book in the team hotel. And then I looked for another room because I'm like, all right, what if I book 2 rooms? The price doubled. The second room was like $900. And I'm like, oh my God. So I think
everybody's coming.
I'll be sleeping on the floor or in the lobby. So I'm had to rent a car. Whew. I did put it up during the big game. The GoFundMe page is not necessary. You don't have to get. It is what it is.
So when are you guys getting in?
Did Joe, what parents would trust Joe with their kids? Well, Joe was standing next to me going, we'll help out. And then all of a sudden, nobody picked Joe.
Bailed.
Joe's a better person than me, too. His wife's going. They're way more responsible. Me and Joe together, not so good. I'm going to be honest.
Is Joe going?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we fly out of Milwaukee at like 1:00 on Thursday. We fly into Dallas, and then we have like a 2-hour layover, and then to Austin. So I just figured if we could get to Dallas, if everything goes to heck, we can drive from Dallas.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then we fly, I think, back through Cleveland, but we're leaving at like 6:30 a.m. Monday morning. So we'll get Emily back to basketball. We got home. Our Phoenix flight didn't arrive till 11 p.m. into Milwaukee, and that was miserable. That's that flight, that 110 at home when you drive in and you're barely awake.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like from Denver when I drove up and you were sitting on the on-ramp driving another 2 hours.
That was beautiful. Little 2 a.m. exchange on a on-ramp in the middle of the night. Nobody ever thinks anything bad's happening.
No.
You pulled up to me, exchanged a person and a bag, and then that was our transaction.
Nothing's fishy here, just a high school girl and 2 dudes. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, totally legit. Yeah.
Right? Just a wink and a nod. So
yeah,
we are excited. We are in the wild card. There's gold and wild card now, or silver, whatever it's called. So this whole soccer tournament is designed for the gold teams to move on. So if you win, if you're in the gold division, you win one of your first 2 games in Round Rock, you advance to the finals. If you're in the wild card, you have to climb 3 games. We have to win all 3.
So I assume that we will not be in the wild card.
We are in the wild card.
What?
We were in the wild card or silver division in Phoenix, so you stay there.
Gotcha. Okay, so we end up having to then play 3 games, and then when is the championship then?
July.
God, they couldn't drag this out anymore if they tried.
It's after the regionals, regionals could also get you here too. Yeah.
And who comes up with this? You know who comes up with this? Participation people. Like, oh, let's get everyone involved. Let's have 6 different ways to qualify for nationals. And it's also really good for this.
Yeah, I think what they do is they
Really
take
good.
struggling hotels throughout the country and they say, "What do you need? Do you need a youth soccer tournament? Because you can double. It's like playoff Packer games, right? Like, oh,
It's
that
crazy.
hotel room's $87, but tonight it's $700."
And I will say this: if we're at the Round Rock multi-purpose complex, it's pretty nice. I'm looking at it right now.
We are. I'm pretty sure we are. I heard it's really nice.
It is really nice. I mean, I'll give them that. But you know what?
I
nice
did look at the
means?
weather. The weather's not like South Texas. Like, it's going to be a lot like it was in Phoenix. I think mid-60s.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine it's not going to be brutal. I mean, right now they have snow basically. So
Yeah, that whole South region is knocked out.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. I saw Destin, Florida had 5 inches of snow. That's funny. Sorry, that's crazy.
Hey,
I haven't even gotten 5 inches all year here.
I was going to say we got a dusting last night, so my driveway's white.
I mean, that's about it. I literally have not plowed or shoveled at all this summer or winter.
I shoveled once and snowblowed once. I shoveled. I haven't
Yeah.
shoveled in forever, and I grabbed the old shovel and got it done. So we have, we've got some dads on our team that do a lot of research. Paul, Joe, Greg.
Yes.
And according to the app of soccer, whatever, Michigan Tigers is the only team down in Round Rock that should beat us. That was that
They're
team
good.
we played in Detroit. They were good.
They beat us 5-1.
But we were bad though.
They were really bad.
But we should not be playing. We won't play them because they'll win their first game, so they'll move on, and they won't come down into our side of the bracket. So there's a good chance we'll be.
So-
I mean,
I was going to ask you this. Sarah's mindset is as watching those games is that the quality of play or the quality of teams was not as good as like in years past. Did we get better or did did it get worse?
what I was told is you're playing a lot of these big clubs. This is their second or third team because they have an ECNL team. Not to
Right.
say that they're not good. This is the best we've ever played. I'll be
I would
honest with you.
agree.
Like we were lights out. I think there's always like Madison and Elmbrook were there in our age group.
Yeah.
Madison got knocked. Elmbrook was in the gold division because it was the previous year statistics that we were in regional league, not national league. So next year, according to what I've been told, is we might be in the gold league. And I'm like, next year we'll just be getting done with this year.
So I remember it's always a year delayed, but it's still so goofy.
Well, that was the conversation. We had a meeting before the game. Like, do you go to regionals? You're going to Texas with the opportunity to go to the national final 8.
Mhm.
You're going to regionals then to go to that same tournament, final 8. And we've never had success at regionals. That's kind of was like the parents were asked, what are your thoughts on, are you willing to do both? Or is it just something we're going to ride this train? And if we don't do well, or if we don't make it out round walk, we won't go to regionals.
Mhm.
So I think it was split on the parents. So
I think it's about 6 of one, a half dozen the other. I mean, it's
right. And we never do well at regionals. I mean, it's just coming off of the high school season where nobody's played together, and all of a sudden you throw all of us in for 2 weeks practice. So
yeah, agreed.
Everybody they asked to mark down, and I don't know where it ended up. I haven't looked.
Yeah, I did think that was a little bit odd that, odd's probably the wrong word, but I mean, they were asking for commitments like immediately.
And that's why.
Like, we need to know by this afternoon, are you going or you're not going? And what it's like, what are you in on? It's like, holy shnikes, this is 5 months away. We're making commitments.
I will say when we were before our third game, we had the parent meeting where Eric came over and talked to us, and he talked about the club and excitement and that. And your in-laws were amazing. Your mother-in-law is like, we're in. Like, where are we going? Round Rock, Texas. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they are very willing to take Amelia for sure. I am planning to be there, but they are very willing to be there. So
Nice. They were great. He
Yeah.
Go Dog shirt, Stevens Point, a couple high fives.
Oh yeah, he's a big player.
And Joe's right. I think there are better teams at region. I mean, we played KC Fusion. They're one of their best teams. They were national champs. I mean, they were good. And so I think you'll run into really good teams in the finals, and there's good teams in Texas. Rumor has it there's some really good colleges going to Texas.
I believe it when I see it. I mean, listen, did you see
That's
the
a true
amount of
statement.
colleges? Did you see the amount of colleges they said was at Arizona? I asked Amelia when she got home, I'm like, how many did you see? She's like, I saw 2 or 3. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is all BS, dude. That is just for show. That's something you say to the parents to get everybody all excited. We've been talking about this like 6 different episodes. That is literally a marketing ploy. It's almost as good as ODP. Like, oh, we got 50 coaches, 140 coaches here.
Well, it says, and this is where USYS needs to get their head out of their ass, because we were the same weekend as an ECNL showcase. They were flying.
Why do they always?
I don't know. ASU, which was in the backyard. Like we drove to ASU in 18 minutes. Their coach posted flying to Florida to see ECNL, and it's like, really?
I don't understand why they would ever. That's like the USFL being like, hey, you know when we should start our season? September. That'd be a great idea. We want to grow this league, so we're gonna go on Sunday at noon in September. We're gonna launch our new professional football league. That's a great idea. I just don't understand why you would ever do that. That's go. You know you're not as popular. You know that they don't know they're not going to come to you. Don't compete with them on the. There's how many 51 other weekends? Figure it out.
I know. And last year when we were in Orlando, we were there early December, and then we were at end of February in Tampa. That was kind of nice, right? You had a 3-month break of travel. We get what, 5 weeks, 4 weeks? Like it's a quick turnaround.
It is a quick turnaround. But I mean, they're playing well, so maybe that could be a really good thing.
That's usually I'm kind of like, like we do it, right? We're in this deep. What's another couple shovels out of the old hole? But I am excited for Round Rock. If they show up like they did, it was fun in Phoenix. Winning is fun. The girls were excited. They got to finally write their name on the board and moving on. Like we've watched this for how many years other teams do it. And we were there.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I was going to tell you, I don't know if you're not going to do a car, I might drive because and if that's the case, you'd be welcome to not rent a car and we can just carpool because I'd probably bring the van. So
I appreciate that. The thing about cars are like $250 for like 4 days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I can get a minivan, and then I got the 3 girls. So I think I'll because then we have to get to the airport on 5 a.m. and
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I do appreciate that though. You're looking at driving?
I might, yeah, because I took off Thursday, Friday, and Monday in anticipation of that possibility, and then I'd leave Wednesday. So we'll see. I don't know yet, but 19
hours.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, me and Joe actually really were talking about it. Like we're like me and him just because you book an airline, especially we always fly Southwest, so you get bags for free. Yeah. You can check bags. It's great. Now in American, they're like, oh, you want to choose your seat? $40. You want to park a bag under the bus? $40. I'm like, what the boop is going on around here?
That's nuts.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, keep it in mind. If it comes up, let me know. But
yeah, no, I do appreciate that.
Probably drive.
Would Amelia go with you or fly?
She'll come with me. Yeah.
I mean, she'd come with me. Why not? I mean, I got the rest of the team.
You should just start a service where this is what you do. You just chauffeur girls around the state or the country, I should say.
I'm just sitting there like can't do anything because all the parents are out having fun. Like, did you see some of the videos out of Arizona the night we went out and did karaoke?
I saw 2. I think it was.
There was only 2.
Jake. Oh, okay. I saw Jake and
James.
I saw Reese. That was pretty good. I wanted to see you and Joe, but I didn't see it. What happened?
No, we were just backup singers.
Mm-hmm.
It was so great because we're in there, the bar's packed. There's actually 2 places that were doing karaoke, and we had dinner upstairs. We came down and there was a guy in a Lions sweatshirt. I gave him a little boo, and the owner kicked him out. I don't know what he did. And the owner came back and she walked past me, and I'm like, "Did you beat the snot out of him?" And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "He shouldn't be wearing that crap." And she started laughing. She figured out the joke, right? And then we were real kind of fun, and everybody was having fun. And she brought over a big tray of shots for us for free from the bar. And we're like, "Oh, great. Here we go."
That's funny. I wonder what he did. Did you find out?
I didn't. I wanted to know because I'm always curious. Crazy thing about Arizona, though, driverless Ubers.
Yeah,
Waymo. Yes.
Yep.
Could never
Waymo.
remember that. I call them Wagyu, but Waymos are awesome.
Did you take them? Did you like
No.
them?
I
Oh,
didn't. A couple of the pair, like I think Brian Palmer did. It was that with their fan, and he said it was like because you control everything from the back seat, the music.
Right.
You can scream and like nobody cares because there's nobody driving, but
Right.
they're everywhere. And I was
I knew
next.
about them.
Yeah, you did. I probably heard a story on it, but I'm at a red light, and me and Joe and then our families are back, and I'm like, we had a Pacifica minivan. I'm like, I'm just gonna give it a little gas. That Waymo took off. It was just poof, right up to speed.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
they're pretty neat.
Yeah. So what they're geo fenced in. They can only that's the way that they've worked to see Phoenix, and I believe it's San Francisco, and they only can go in certain boundaries within the city. But yeah, they're completely driverless. They use a lot of LiDAR. They use some vision. But I personally would not ride in them just because I'm a big fan of the self-driving thing, but there's been too many instances where they've malfunctioned and gotten in accidents. There's been a decent amount of them, and so I'm like, I just don't trust them yet.
Yeah.
So I'll let other people guinea pig it.
Well, I've been in some shady cabs in Vegas and stuff, so
That
I
is
think
true.
it might be better than that. I mean, at least at an accident, you're only going 35, or in Vegas, we're going like 80. So, like, I feel my chance of. They're Jaguars. The cars are Jaguar. Like,
What?
They're pretty nice. Yeah. It's
Oh
not
my
like an
God.
87 Cutlet here. Like, it is a really nice car.
I just assumed they'd be like Traverses or something. You know, like
Yeah.
just
They
something-
kind of look like that, but they're Jaguars.
Wow.
But they have radar. I mean, things all
Yeah.
over the car.
Oh yeah, I know they have tons of gizmos all over. They look goofy, but
Yeah.
interesting. Maybe you should have jumped in there.
Which we talked about it, and then you're like, oh, we got 3 days, and then you're 2 days, and then 1 day, and then you're like, maybe next time.
I will say I was in an accident once in a cab, so I guess, and that had a person, so I guess what could be the worst? And then some yapper. She was the wildest. We were in Buffalo, New York, or whatever. My wife and I were, and she's driving us around, and she's just yapping, just talking, and literally driving and doing this, like talking to us. And she rear-ended somebody while she was talking to us. I'm like, lady, what are you doing? It was pretty funny.
We got into a cab in Munich, Germany at Oktoberfest, and it was a Mercedes, and the guy had a stein of beer. It was a big stein, and he was holding it, and he just like this. And I am like, oh my God. So we had a lot of beer in us ourselves, and we're like, how fast does this car go? And he's like,
Oh my God.
didn't spill a drop.
It's professional.
Right? Sometimes you throw caution in the wind and see what happens next.
That's nuts. I can't get over there using Jaguars, though. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
So
Well, good.
That's the
Go Waymo.
soccer experience. We got a big weekend, not this week, but the following. We're going to be in Eden Prairie.
Is that there already? Oh, man.
Yeah. So are you just driving over Sunday?
Yeah. I got to see where Amelia's game is at Saturday.
Skip the game. Come with us.
Yeah, we've already skipped 2. Which, by the way, that could cause an issue with Round Rock. So that might be the other reason why I'm driving too. That first game might be an issue because we have the first game of playoffs is the 17th of February. And then if we win, I think the second one is the 21st. And I told her, and this is me being a dad, we are not bailing on her team on playoffs. It's not happening. That would not be fair to
21st
them.
is the middle of Round Rock?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember when it is, but I think it's like the first day of the games. And I'm like, it's just not fair to bail on your team in playoffs. I'm not a big fan of that. So that's the only thing that would potentially cause us to not come. But the problem is I don't know until like right then. So I'm going to talk to the coach and find out what we might know going into it. So,
well, you got to be a lower seed. I mean, based on your
correct. We are low. The problem is the way girls hockey works is that because there's not many teams. I found this out last year. There's not a lot of teams, and I shouldn't say this in a bad way because it makes it sound like I'm like rooting to lose. But the way that it works is you end up playing. I think there's 6 teams that are in our bracket. And so the 5 and the 6 play and the other ones get buys. So you're technically a low seed, but you're not playing playing a 1. You're playing a lower seed. So the chances of you advancing are higher versus like if you're in boys playoff, you the 8, you're the lowest seed. You're playing a 1, you're probably going home. So it makes predicting things more difficult.
Very difficult.
Because if I knew like we were a 5 and I'm like, oh, we're playing a 2, it's like, okay, well, that's not the way it is. If we're a 5, we're playing the 6. And for a 6, we're playing the 5. So it just makes it a little more difficult to gauge how well you're going to do. And I don't know. I'm not comfortable with just saying, just bail on them. It's not really.
You want me to make the call? I'll call coach.
Especially when, she starts a lot of the games. So it's not good. It's not good optics. It doesn't look good.
It's tough, right? It's very tough.
So that's the only thing that we got that's in the middle, but I'm assuming that we're going to be able to go down. That's my assumption. So,
well, I'm never going to root against your daughter playing hockey, but I'm rooting against her playing hockey.
Yep, it is what it is.
So, but then next weekend you'll come over on. So we're going to leave Friday. We play Saturday and we play Sunday. I don't know if the game time. I was talking to Paul. He was actually going to dig into game times if they had released them for Minneapolis.
Gotcha.
Because they released the college. They sent our college coaches list out today.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, on Team Snap.
Oh, I missed that.
So
that one, at least, it feels like they might actually show up.
Well, I know of a couple colleges for sure are going.
Right.
So, like when we were in Stillwater last year, we had a really good turnout of college. And it's all local colleges. I mean, it's not Purdue's not coming, North Carolina's not coming, but Eau Claire and La Crosse and Minnesota State, South Dakota's coming. So yeah, it's a great thing for our team. For a majority of our team.
So you just mentioned La Crosse, so I gotta share this. You'll find this hilarious. If you and I were head coaches, let's just envision for a little bit, we were head coaches of a girls' soccer team in college, and you were recruiting someone. In my world, correct me if I'm wrong. In my world, if I targeted someone and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go after Macy," I would probably reach out to Macy. Especially if she reached out to me, we'd have a little conversation, and then when Christmas rolled around, I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to send Macy a Christmas card from UW La Crosse. We're going to send it out. Just a little nice touch, right? Nice card arrives. It's got the picture of the team and happy holidays and all that, and you're like, wow, that's really nice. But I wouldn't just send it randomly to people if I never had any contact at all with that player. I mean, Amelia got one from UW La Crosse, a random Christmas card. Like, to Amelia, happy holidays. Like, what? Why are you spending money sending a freaking Christmas card to somebody you've never had any contact with? And that's the first point of contact. Is happy holidays. It's like
nothing more like, hey, we'd love you to come see us. Can we call you?
It didn't have a note written on it. It just said happy holidays, a picture of the team, and it said go Hawks or something like that, or I don't whatever the hell they're.
Really?
I'm just like, that's such a waste of money. So they must have like identified a bunch of players and just sent out a bunch of postcards. This recruiting thing, dude, is wild to me. I don't understand where these coaches' strategies are, because I'm thinking like a sales guy, right? I was in sales for 15, 20 years. Like, I'm thinking, how do you get in if you're cold calling somebody? How do you get in to get that appointment and then sell yourself? And these people are just like, let's just throw stuff at the wall and hope that stuff happens. We used to call that the hope strategy, where you just hoping people would come and buy from you.
Yeah, the hope and pray. Yep.
Hope and pray, baby. It is
Right.
the worst strategy ever. And these teams run on hope and pray. They are bought and sold on hope and pray. They could write a book on hope and pray. Most of them.
I swear it's completely backwards from what I thought. I thought the top tier schools, you would have to sell yourself to get there. Like, literally sell your soul, do all the research, the films, and then the D3 schools would be begging you to come.
Right.
It is not. D3 schools
No.
are like, if you want to come, you come. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We're here. Like, I've been coaching here for 700 years.
It shows, Rippin. It shows. I mean, I'm just not trying to throw shade, but it shows.
It's pretty blatant. It's pretty blatant.
And I just don't understand how, if you're Rippin, I'm just going to pick on them, how you couldn't go out and identify a few kids and be like, hey, you know, I know you're probably getting a bunch of offers, but we'd love to have you here. We'd love to have you here. And you go after them early and hard. And you know what? You might only get, maybe you get a couple of them, but you identify some people that are mid-level. You know, they're not probably, you're not going to go after Emily McCarthy, right? You know, she's gone big time. But you go after some people that are like, maybe on Kimberly, but maybe they're like, you know, maybe they're like the 10th person or whatever. But what? I just don't understand this. Like, we'll just see who reaches out. It's wild.
Well, and that was the conversation with Michigan Tech. You know, we saw you play. We think you're a really good player, but let us know if you like us. If you like Michigan Tech, why don't you do some research? Pamphlet? Can you?
And that was after you reached out, right?
They reached out first, and then we went down and saw them play.
Okay.
And but then it's like, all right, well, you know, we're still working on next year's class, so we're really not on 26 yet. But let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I understand, especially like schools that are in tough environments.
Yep.
I'm talking like weather environments, that there's going to be people that are not interested. And I can have some empathy for that to some degree. Like when Green Bay basically said to Amelia, we want to know that you would want to be here before we're going to push too much harder. I can kind of understand it a little bit. I mean, you should still, and now to be fair, they told her that after they did the tour, after they did the pitch, it's like, okay, I can live with that a little bit. But like right out of the gate, I just, like, I'm not saying you need to like lavish me with anything. Just give me your pitch. Like, give me the why you. I want to know why you, and they don't care. Maybe there's just too many players.
And I think if you can get people to follow you on social media, I think that's what Emily did great and Greg did great, right? Hey, we Duluth wants us. You know, Mankato State wants us for this sport, you know, and GB offered, and all of a sudden teams are going, oh, snap.
Yeah.
We got to get to the getting. But if you're like, keep it kind of secret, and they're like, I mean, I just wanted to go out to dinner once on the university. Like, even when I went to Point with Allie, tennis, like they recruited her more than 90% of the schools are recruiting any kids. And I got to eat free in the cafeteria. I felt like the king. Like, I had a salad. Like, it was $9, but I'm like, I don't have to pay. Like, this is all, I might have a little dessert. I think I stuck one in my pocket. But there's nothing. Like, their budgets must be minimal. Or
it's got to be
they throw it all at one kid.
Well, and again, I'm not even saying like spend money. I'm just saying send an email, send a text, be like, hey, we saw you, we think you'd be a really great Rippin' whatever. You know, I can't remember that they're so bad I can't remember their mascot, but it's like, we think you'd be great. But to do nothing, like, I just don't understand it. It's such a rollover and die mentality of like, well, we're just going to take whatever falls to us. Like, I don't like it. Shoot big. I don't know. Maybe that's why in sales I was called the big hitter, because I never cared. I didn't give a crap. I would go for any sale, and I had some of the bigger sales, but I wasn't great closing percentage, but I had big sales because I didn't care. I'd write the estimate, 70 grand. Sure. Let's do it. Well, why not?
Right.
What are they going to say? No. Ooh.
Yeah, they're going to buy it from somebody, right? Well, that's after that Ripon game when we went down there. It was bad. They never once reached out to any of our girls. Like, hey, would you like help to build our program? You know, we're a great school, small community, near home.
And almost every girl on our team could help them.
100%.
100%.
Start. Like, hey, as a freshman, we need big minutes.
I don't know. Whatever.
They went like 5.
Weird to me.
Did you ever look up their record this year?
No. And they won. I know last I looked, they'd won like 2 games. And I'm like
Lawrence Music School, right? But they were like, we're going to take it to Ripon. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you better. They're terrible.
Terrible.
Like, I think we could have finished top 2 in that conference. And that's not a knock. That's just life.
With 17-year-olds. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just wild to me. I don't understand not being proactive at all. I understand that you have to be as a player. I'm not trying to say that the player shouldn't reach out and talk to, whomever, but I just don't understand why the coaches are just so like, we're just going to wait. We'll see who reaches out. And if they reach out, then I'll talk to them. It's like, it just seems weird to me. You're telling me you don't know any players. You're not identifying any good players somewhere in the area. You have no idea until they reach out to you if they're good or not. Give me a break. And if you are, you're a horrible head coach and you shouldn't be employed. Like, honestly, if you don't know any of the players.
Our D3 coaches, they're almost like they're tenured, right? Like,
and
some of these guys have been around forever.
But a lot of them don't have a ton of pressure. But I want to say that they're like 50s, 50, 60. I mean, it's not like they're running by on grad salaries. I mean, where it's like 2, 3.
No, but you got to be dedicated for your whole life to make that kind of money, right? I mean, now they can probably get
totally
camps and different things to make side money.
Yeah, I don't know. I get fired up about this, and maybe it's misguided, and maybe I'm completely ignorant to how it all works. It really feels like a roll over and die strategy. Like whatever happens to us happens, and I don't understand that. So,
and we're in the middle of it. Can't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, hey, what do you think? Those of you listening to me rant about this, what do you think is actually happening? Are we way off base? I don't know. It says that let's see. This is what AI says for UWSP. It says they only make like 40 grand. But because my understanding is they're also teachers. So I get that they also do other things, but it's not like they're just getting paid to coach. But I could have swore that they got paid a little bit more than that.
I don't know if a lot of them are they. I suppose they could be a professor, right, of soccer. Like,
right.
You get paid to
I don't know.
Teach. Yeah.
Maybe tell you what, next show, I'll look this up. I'll look up, because it's all public. I'll look up public salaries and see where these people fly in. Because I'd be kind of curious. I'm not going to put anybody specifically on blast, but I'd be kind of curious.
Well, right. But it's also like, it'd be interesting to see on the docket of sport. Women's soccer, where does that rank? Because, right, it's got to be – there's football because it's usually some sort of money generating. A lot of the D3 schools in the state have very good hockey programs. How would you like to play hockey? I mean, we went and watched Stevens Point play hockey. They're really good. And
they are.
St. Norbert wins national championships. They're D3. Like, how Division I has to be just simply you're already drafted. Because our neighbor was drafted by the Islanders, and he's playing at the Badgers.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah. He's quick.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
He's very cool. Never met him, though. He didn't come over to our side of the neighborhood.
He didn't like you that much? He was too busy skating. I'll tell you what,
They
those guys
skated
are
all the
busy.
time. They would be
Dude,
down there at midnight with lights on the pond, and they'd scrape off the snow and they'd get after it. It was fun to watch from across the lake in my warm home.
Yeah, I've heard. I saw a little reel with a guy, and he's like talking about how he, like what he did to get to the NHL, and he's like basically from 15 to 19, I literally had no friends. I never had a life. You're just nonstop.
So here's a question, because I look at it through Macy's eyes, right? And she found like she's really enjoyed high school the last 2 years, which I think is fantastic. She's done DECA, student council, all the nerd stuff. But it's okay. I call her nerd to her face and not doing it behind her back. For those out there that don't want any hate mail. Actually, I want mine
so
mail.
Mean to his kid.
Any mail, right? But do you think the next generation is going to struggle for that? I know there's always kids. There's always the shining star that is from their 6 years old. They wanted nothing but to make top college and sport, right? But most kids, I just assume they just have so many other things going on that you wonder if the above average kid is putting in the effort all day, every day.
Right.
Because right now, if you're like, technically there's like, if you don't, like, we have Synergy here in town, it's a workout, they have trainers, like you're paying money for that. But like, our kids going out into the street, into the yard, because they don't go to the park and play. Like, there's not a group of 10 kids I've ever seen in one summer in 10 years that are at the park playing baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I could see what you're saying, but at the same time, the kids today have more resources than they probably ever had.
So maybe they don't need to, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I don't just mean like, I mean, they have training facilities and personal trainers. I mean, I just think about people I've talked to in our dealings with soccer, and there's a lot of advantages that people have where, I think about when you and I were kids. You've talked to me a little bit. You just go out and play with your friends. You didn't go to a trainer or you didn't none of that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, across the highway now we have brand new Velocity softball facility. Pitching all indoors. Now, it's not like they don't have a field indoors, but they've got all the machinery, all the nets. 2 blocks from that is the indoor soccer facility of our club. There's an indoor baseball facility here in Howard. This is just Howard.
Right.
We have ISA net baseball down in the Valley. On the way to the Valley, that was Birkin. He played in the majors. He started that program. It's indoor Purdy soccer, Synergy. It's crazy. The driveway, that's all basketball.
Yeah, they're all over. I mean, there's tons of them. So, yeah, I don't know. Which is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
No,
I know we've talked about how like crazy it is that there's so much, $20 billion spent on youth sports. I mean, there are some good sides to all of that, but yeah, it's there. I don't know. I think they have. But I think what you're getting at is, do they have the drive? Do they have the drive to be able to compete? And that's what I don't know. I mean, I think some of them do. I saw Jocko Willink talk about this, and he basically said, if you're just a little bit of a savage in today's day and age, and I would agree with this, seeing what goes through my classroom, if you're a little bit of a savage, in other words, you're not afraid to put in some extra work and grind a little bit more, you are going to run roughshod over everybody.
Oh, and Dana White actually talked about the same thing. He's like, I teach my kids to be, and if you're a savage and you go out and give it like our group did, starting your job, starting everything, they're going to walk through everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. So,
yeah.
Hey,
I just,
go ahead.
I'll just say you hope that, that the youth can figure it out to continue to be a little more, because being a business owner, where you see the next generation coming up, especially in construction, and you're like, oh man, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. So I just wanted to share this back to my rant earlier. I looked up 2 different coaches. I won't say what schools. One was 50 and one is 62. And one of them, and I won't say which, must have just gotten recruited by somebody because their salary jumped almost 10 grand in 1 year. So that tells me they had an offer from somebody else.
And they wanted to
and
keep them.
They wanted to keep them.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me. Because every year prior to that was literally like a couple $100 increase. And then all of a sudden 10 grand. Somebody got recruited.
Yeah, man, it's that's just not a lot of money in today's age, right? Life's expensive.
No, agreed. No, but I guess the other side of that is they're, I don't know if that's all in. That's their annual wage and their title as a coach. They do get, whenever they go to these things, they get it's not like they're paying for hotels. It's not like, they're getting a lot of things comped. But yes, I would agree. It's not like, wow, they're making crazy bank. But I think for the most part, my understanding, I talked to a coach who's not in soccer at UWSP, and he basically said that that's their job. Like it's not like they're coaching or teaching a bunch of classes, that they're coaches. So,
well, and they don't get fired easily because they're hard to find, and they're pretty loyal to the community. They're good for the community, but they also get, I think, like, we went to that point camp 2 years ago, and it was $135. I bet you the coach kept 100 of it. I mean, they probably used some for t-shirts and things like that. But
yeah, the camps make money for the program and pay the coaches for sure.
Yeah. I just had to, like, tennis at Stevens Point. Allie frantically texted me on Monday night. She's like, I forgot to sell my 4 raffle tickets. And I'm like, what are we giving away? And she's like, I have no idea. She's like, I just need $100. And I'm like, I just bought 4 raffle tickets.
Nice. Did you win?
I have
That's
no
always
idea.
The hope, is that it just pays off for your good deed.
It's never paid off for my good deed. Like, you figure, even with our soccer club, I just wanted to win one Sunday where they said Toby won $25. Never happened.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to keep trying, though.
That's all you can do. Just keeping on.
Yeah. Right. So, but I have no idea what I was going to say.
No, that's fine. So anyways, yeah, I'd be curious if we've said anything today that you found interesting. We'd love to hear from you. So feel free to let us know what you think. judgingbouncingballs@gmail.com.
Joe just said when he played back in the 1900s.
Nice. Well played.
My college coach had another job, and I believe that, right? Because they probably paid a heck of a lot less, and they had to deal with guys like Joe. Could you imagine that? Like, oh God, here he comes.
Yep.
Wild hair, all tan, smelling like Winston Lights and cheap beer.
What is that, in cocoa butter or whatever? Yeah, good stuff.
But otherwise, yeah, we got a lot coming up. You're working on a pretty big guest. I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah, we do have one coming. The problem we've been running into is it's in season. This is a guest that was a professional at one point. I don't want to give too much away, but they were in the professional leagues, and hopefully we can get this person locked up here pretty soon, so we can do a nice interview, because they would be able to. They currently are a coach, and they run a lot of youth sports. They would be able to give a really good insight from both sides, what they went through, and then also what they're seeing right now. So, and straight shooter, lots of funny stories. So it'd be a good one. I think we just got to figure out the time.
Yeah, like I said, even if it had fallen on a Sunday night, I would.
Yes.
I check my schedule, and it's pretty empty.
Especially now that the Packers are gone.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
But
I'm just trying to clear my head, because I got this trip to Brown Rock has me just a little bit nervous. I'll repeat it. My wife is on me about how I act. I can't go to the lobby with Joe. That didn't go well. Holy cow. I don't know what we're doing. We bought a 12-pack. I'll just tell you this. We bought a 12-pack
Why
of
not?
Fresca, and then we bought 2 bottles of tequila because we're like, all right, this is for the whole weekend. This
Mhm.
Thursday night or Friday morning, we're like, all right, this is for the weekend.
Right.
Saturday morning, we had 7 cans of Fresca left, and we were out of tequila. I'm like,
Hey, if Jackie's not coming, Jackie seems like like she might want to go up to Waco and see Magnolia.
she's been to Waco.
I
I
kinda
think
thought
she's
she
seen
seemed like-
Magnolia too, because we have a book in
I-
our kitchen. All of a sudden, that's Magnolia.
Yes. Then she has seen it. I just assumed she'd make that trip because that's literally like a half hour away or an hour away.
She's very disappointed.
Okay.
She with everything going on, and she's running the school play, and she's got to take some kids with another
Ah.
teacher down to the Admiral game, and so I'd rather have her with because someone's got to be a parent.
Especially with 3 girls. And we could go down to Austin and see Joe Rogan. I mean,
Yeah, Bert Kreischer, top scorer.
yeah.
They're
I
out
think
of Austin, too.
at his club, I think he's always putting on shows there. So it might be kind of fun to go down to his club.
So, just a quick question. Let's say there's a guy, a dad, and he's got a couple of soccer players with his daughter, and he decides to take the car down to Austin
Mhm.
without the girls. Like, let's say, like, you got a big game, you should stay here. And then he doesn't come back for like a day. Like, how much trouble do you think one would get in?
Pretty decent amount, probably.
Pretty decent amount. Yeah, that's what I
I mean,
figured too.
Depends on the age of the girls. If
Let's
they're,
say
you
they're in
know,
the 16 range, maybe 17.
Yeah.
And there's other parents to take care of them. It's not like they're going to be left alone.
they might be okay.
How far is the Branch Davidian, do you think, in Waco from us?
Oh, I don't know. That's well, it's Waco, so I mean, it would be
Right.
same as Magnolia. About
Do you think that, well, they burned it down.
they, yes, they did.
Do you
I
think
we
there's a
get to
sign?
see. I think probably, but that's probably all there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I ever thought of with Waco was Branch Davidian.
Well, yeah, that's a crazy story. But yeah, I think it's all gone.
What college is in Waco? A&M?
Baylor,
TCU?
Baylor,
That's right. Baylor.
baby. Yep.
I wonder if they have any interest in me. What are you going to do?
We'll see.
So, all right. Well, I'm excited to see you at Minneapolis for the day.
It'll be good.
Get to hang out with you in 4 weeks in Round Rock.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yep. And we'll do this a couple times. We got to get back on a schedule.
Agreed, man. Let's do it.
All right.
You have
Here's
yourself a
hour
good
3,
night.
8 o'clock. I got to take the dog out. I got to go to bed. I got a big
Right.
Friday tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting.
Sounds good. We'll post when we get our guests.
All right. Good talking to you.
All right, man. Bye. Sweet. I think we're almost uploaded already here too. So
I am successful. I've had this Spectrum over 3 times. I called the lady. I said, I've had it. I said, come pick up your shit in my front yard. I just lost it. And because every time the guy comes, he's like, oh, I found it. We're good. Speeds are great. Next day, internet goes out. I reboot, comes back on. Every day I had to do this.
is
So
that
one day
Spectrum?
I'm on a business trip. I'm in far western Minnesota, and Jackie's like, "Hey, I don't have my garage clicker. Can you open the garage door? Because I have one of our garage doors on an app."